Okay, I'm finished with the stitch in the ditch on this row, and I would like to audition designs to go in to the solid, the ones that don't have any piecing. I'm thinking something that is an all-over balanced look, but won't take away from the actual art. I was drawn to the panel to begin with because of the pictures, so I want to keep that still the focus. So I'm going to mark the block, and that will give me the size of the block to audition the designs in. So at the main menu, because I finished with line pattern and I backed up, I'm at the main menu. I'm going to do design sew quilt. I don't have this part already planned or anywhere in this tablet, so I'm going to start new. So you already have a work in progress. Do you want to replace it? Yes. Do you want to erase permanently? Yes. And like I said earlier, I don't usually pay any attention to this. This time I'll say continue. Now we are going to do a block pattern. And it asks how we want to define the block. I'm going to mark on quilt, and I'm going to use my presentation clicker. I have the laser light mounted on the bracket on the side of my APQS, and that laser light is shining down. I will be able to accurately give Intelliquilter the shape of everything that I need to know about this block. So I'm going to move the needle to the first point and touch OK. And as I mark, you'll see that being created on the screen. Now, I'm not going to be ditching this again. I don't have to put in as many registration points, but I do want to put in as many registration points as I need. And as long as the seam is pretty straight, I'm just going to move right around. That's pretty fast. Trace is another way that you can do this, but I always feel like I'm a little too wobbly for that. And I like the fact that Intelliquilter smooths out the line between my registration. So the block is completed. If you wanted to go back and change anything, you could erase the last point, or you could restart if you don't like it at all. I am finished. And now it is taking me into my catalogs to find a design to put into this. Okay, I'm going to choose this Emily's Feather Square. So I'm going to choose that and continue. Now Intelliquilter places that within this block that I have drawn the best way that it can. I might like to change the scale, reduce it down so that the design in the block floats a little more, or I might decide that I want to increase that. I can also stroke on the screen, but here's the thing. If I bring it out by scale, everything is staying the correct proportion, but as you can see on the screen, I'm closer to the left and the right side than I am the top and the bottom. So in order to make an adjustment there, I could touch height, and I can touch the plus arrow on the ribbon. See how it grows taller? And it's filling that space nicer. Now once I've done that, I can go back to scale, and now it's going to keep that same proportion. Just reduce the whole thing. And see how that's floating inside the block really nicely? Now, if I want to be certain that I have it really balanced, I'm pretty good visually looking at things like this, but if I want to, I can turn the grid on, and I have an option here to leave it at 1 inch. This is all on the ribbon. I can use 1 inch, I can take it to a 1/2 inch, or I can take it down to a 1/4 inch. And that gives me a real good way of checking that I still like the way that this design is fitting in that block. This is really pretty. This isn't the design that I'm going to choose, so I'm going to turn the grid back off because it kind of is a little bit too busy for my liking. So I'm going to say move. I'm going to touch move. I know that this isn't the design that I want for this, so I can touch move and physically just move it off of the screen. Now there have been many times when I'm auditioning a pattern design and I said, oh, I like that one, but maybe there's a better one. So if I just scoot it out there off of the active part of that block, and I audition another 2 or 3 and then go, you know, I like that first one better. Later on, if I want to delete it, I certainly can, But right now, I'm okay with just letting it float out there while I go searching for a different design. I'm going to close this menu, and I'm going to say finished. Do you want to add another block pattern? Well, this time I do. So I'm going to say yes. And we are going to use the current block. See how it's red? That means it's active. So I don't have to draw this block again. I'm going to use the current block. I'm going out into my block designs. So these are some beautiful designs that I just brought in, and I haven't put them in their proper place yet. You can just go through your designs, audition.